everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, this is my review of the BetaFPV PAVO360. Many of you have asked for it, so I'm finally doing a review on it. Now, the PAVO360 is the most advanced FPV 360 drone currently on the market for the consumer. So if you want the best of the best, this is the one you have to get if you want to do 360 video. And of course, since it is the most advanced 360 FPV drone on the market currently, it means it has to have a really good 360 camera. So the camera in it is the brand new SMO 360. That camera weighs very little. You can use it on any FPV drone if you want, but it's kind of specifically designed for this one, so you get the best 360K results with this, because if you use it with this drone disappears. If you use it with any other drone, it's kind of hard to get rid of the drone or the plane that you're flying or whatever you're sticking it on, because it will still appear in the image when you want to get a full 360 as if nothing's there except the camera. Now, as you can see on my table, I have two batteries sitting here, and these two batteries are included in the kit. They are 3S 3-cell batteries, and you put two in the drone to fly it, and they do connect in series, so your 3S turns into a 6S, so it's a 6S drone, giving you tons of power for the camera and the drone itself. Now, before I do a deep dive into the PAVO360, that might make your eyelids go roll back in your head, because it's like, oh, he's putting me to sleep. Let me just say the following. You can buy this in two separate price points. So the lowest price point would be the analog version, and the analog version has a pilot camera up front that is a CADX Ratel camera, and you would fly it then with whatever analog goggles you have. I have Fat Sharks, so I would fly it with that. Mine is the digital version, so that means I've got the CADX Polar up front, and I have to fly it with my digital DJI FPV goggles, and you'll see that in this video. Now, as for the receiver you want in it, there is a whole host of receivers, and I will stick them up here, the ones in there. Mine, I just said give it to me plug and play, so I flew it with my DJI FPV Black controller. All right, so the next thing I want to do is explain to anybody watching this what 360 video is, because honestly, I've spoken to an awful lot of people, and there's a lot of people who still do not know the benefits of a 360 camera. So let me explain it really quick. A lot of you probably fly camera drones like DJI, Autel, Hubsan, FIMI, anything like that. And when you fly it and you see the camera where it's pointing, and you point the camera at the subject you wish to film or take photos of, right? That's how you do it. That's how most people do it in the camera hobby. Let me just stick these like this. I'm just going to show you something here, get it in the video. Here's another one over here. So let's pretend this guy is my PAVO360. So it's got a 360-degree camera on it. If you are used to flying camera drones, as I mentioned, you have to point the camera at what you want to film. I want to film this thing over here. I point the camera that way, this, that, whatever. That's how it works in the camera world. If you have a 360 camera, you do not do that. Never do that. What you do, say you want to film all of this, and say there's even, I don't know, say something over top, you're going to go under something. What you do is you point the camera straight. The pilot's camera, you just fly straight. You fly straight through. Can you see my little drone coming out the other side? You fly straight through, coming out the other side. Now, even though it's an FPV drone, and in the FPV hobby, FPV drones do rolls and flips, and you can do acrobatics, freestyle. You don't do that with a 360 camera because it's unnecessary. All you do is fly the drone, just like a little beginner. You're flying it level off at the ground, and you just try to go in a straight pattern. And what you do is try to go close to objects or go under objects. That's all you do in the 360 hobby. All right, so let me get rid of this stuff. Now, let me tell you something else. Now, when you get home, you're going to take your micro SD card out of your 360-degree camera, and you have to stick it into software that can look at 360-degree video. The free software that I use is called Insta360 Studio. They kind of make the camera, they make the software, they make everything, so it just works perfect together. It's free. Then when you put your footage in that software, you're going to see it on the screen, and you're going to have a choice to see everything 360 or just see looking straight ahead. I always pick looking straight ahead, and then I just move the video to look at whatever I want, because I have 360-degree view of everything. So if I flew past a tree and the tree was over here, well, I can look straight, or I can look at the tree, or I can look at the sky, or I can look at the bottom of the tree, or I can look behind me, or I can look at the other side. I just pick what I want to view. I can take a picture of that, or I can edit it together into a video that you're going to see in this here video, and it looks pretty cool. Now, to make my explanation a bit clearer, here is Insta360 Studio, and you can see I can move the camera angle around anywhere within a 360 degree realm. And do you notice you cannot see the drone anywhere? It looks like the camera's just floating in the air. And to create a video, all you have to do is pick an angle that you want to start. So I want to start like this, and then over on the bottom right, you can see I'm pointing at it. You click on this little plus sign, and now you go pick the next scene. So let's move forward in the video, someplace down the road. I'll spin the camera around because I have 360 degrees, and let's say that's our next scene. So I will hit the plus sign again, and now when I play back the video, the image or the camera will automatically rotate from scene 1 to scene 2. That's it. It's so cool. So hopefully that explanation made it clear how a 360 camera works. And if it didn't, well, I can show you some examples. So watch this. So as an example, I'm going to play the same scene over, just changing the camera angles. So here is the camera angle looking forward. Here's the camera angle looking backwards. Exactly the same flight. Here's the camera angle looking down. So I could fly looking down. I can do it again, and this time I'm going to look to the left. And there we go. And I could do one to the right or any spot I want. It's 360 degrees. All right, so now you have a better idea how 360 cameras work. So I took this out twice for 2 flights on the same day in freezing cold weather, because that's all it is up here in Canada right now. Except we had a wind, and oh my God, that wind was so bone chilling that everything froze up. As a matter of fact, there's a feature on here, I'll tell you later, it actually froze up on the drone and I couldn't use it. But I'm going to show you the footage that I took on my 2 flights. I'll put it all together, and you can see that now, so check it out. Now the temperature that day was insane. There was a bit of a breeze, and every time the wind would pick up, it was a bone chilly breeze. Here, I'll let you hear what the Pavo sounds like. Listen to this. Please note, when I edited the video you're about to see, I put tons of motion in it just to show you what a 360 camera can do. So for some people it may cause motion sickness, so just stare at your feet. All right, so pretty cool footage right now. Let me explain what froze up because it was so cold. There's a little landing leg on here that is designed so you don't mess up your cameras. It pops out, it comes out, and the drone goes down, and it keeps the lenses off the ground. So let me plug in 2 batteries and show you how it works. Okay, I've got 2 batteries attached. I did not put them inside the drone because I'm going to pull them out in a second, but I just want to show you the leg. So over here on your controller, it's channel 8. On the DJI controllers, it's channel, what is it? Is it channel 1? Might be channel 1. It might be channel 1 on the DJI controllers, but if you have something else like a TX16S or something like that, it's channel 8. You can set it up in BetaFlight. Anyway, so on this controller, if I flick this switch, there we go. Did you see that come out down there? Here, let me bring it close so you can see it better. Okay, have a look at the front, and here we go. There we go. That's our little landing leg. and going down. So when you take off, you would take off with it like this, and then when you get up in the air, you do that, because if you leave it like this, it's in the way of that camera there, and you will see it in your video. So you have to put it away. When I flew this in the freezing cold, it froze on me. It would not go back up. So I had to land it, and I had to manually just push it up inside. It was, the cold affects it because it's a motor, it's a servo. Now, let me tell you some things you need to know about this drone if you're going to buy it. First off, it's pretty cool. It's really cool. I like it a lot. However, there's a little bit of effort to record in 360, and 360 video with drones like this are made for like TV commercial advertisements, really cool videos you see on YouTube, things you think, how is that possible? How did they do that? It's done with drones like this because the camera, well, it's a high definition camera and you can catch anything you want. So you fly in buildings and bowling alleys, all sorts of things, really close to things, and you can move the camera all over the place smoothly in post-editing and make things look cool. But what you have to know is when you buy the drone, the PAVO 360, it does not come with the camera because the camera is sold separately. This SMO 360 camera is separate. Certainly it's made for this drone, but you could use it on any other FPV drone because it takes power right off the battery or right off the flight controller, just like a lot of the naked SMO 360s other models do, and this is no different. The only problem is if you put it on another FPV drone, you will see the FPV drone when looking around 360. This is the only one on the market that becomes invisible. See how thin it is? Look it. Can you see it now? Is it invisible? Also, one of the things you have to know about this that impressed me is they made this out of some sort of plastic that I have not seen before. It is super strong. Because out in that cold weather, I was pushing these batteries in and out of this plastic to lock them in place. And I thought I was going to break the clips on the end, but nope, they just bent back. Even in the freezing cold, no problem. This thing is made really well. So I'm assuming in the summer, you could probably crash it into a lot of hard objects and it will not crack, shatter, or break. Now, there's not a lot of videos of this drone on YouTube because YouTube reviewers have to buy it and it's very expensive. You got to buy the camera and the drone. So that's why I'm probably one of the few guys, there's myself and a few, and a handful of reviewers who have reviewed this drone. So being so expensive, when I bought it, BetaFPV said to me, they said, hey, you bought the drone, you bought the camera, but you didn't buy the lens protectors. And I'm like, no, I've got a lot of 360 cameras and I have no lens protectors. Why would I need one? There's a little leg here that's supposed to protect it when I take off and land. And they said, trust us, get the lens protectors. So the lens protectors are these little pieces of plastic and they come in a box like this. I've got a lot of them now. You'll see why I'm going to explain it in a second. I got a lot. There's a lot in each box. So they're disposable. And what they do is they protect the glass lens or whatever it's made out of, polycarbonate or something. They protect that lens from scratches in case you have a bad landing. When I shot my 2 segments of video, I landed a second time and I thought I was pretty good, but I hit some gravel. It scratched up this bottom protective cover. And in the video, you can see it right here. Right after I landed, I was showing it in the camera that, I scratched it up. You can still fly with it scratched up, but you might see the slightest bit of imperfections, like little lines in your videos. So I wasn't going to bother. So if you buy this, get the little protectors. And if you get these plastic protectors, please note the following that I've noticed, and you probably saw it in my video. The light will go through the protector, hit the internal lens, but then bounce back out and get trapped in the protector. And you get these little different colorations. It looks like rainbows happening in the corners, that sort of thing. That's the only downside with the protectors, but it's better to have them than destroy your lens. Unless, I will say this, I haven't tried it. Had I landed on snow, it would have been perfectly fine, that I would not have scratched anything. Had it been summertime and I landed on grass, like plenty of grass, it would have been fine as well. So yeah, if you're going to land on grass or snow, then you should be fine. Now, a lot of you with a keen eye are probably wondering, where's the antenna? Because a lot of drones have antennas that stick out in the FPV hobby to communicate back with your goggles, with your radio, and that sort of thing. Well, the cool thing is if you have the digital version, which I have, you'll know that in a digital version, if you don't add a receiver and you go plug and play like I did, that's why I went plug and play, it means that the digital version uses one antenna, and here, let me put a finger that way, one antenna instead of a thumb. And the antenna is right there in the front. They just stuck it right by the camera. What does that mean? That means if you're flying towards yourself, you're going to get more range, so you're going to have to fly backwards. But if you turn it and fly away from yourself, your range is probably going to be limited. Now, it is digital, so it goes quite far. but it's not going to be a massive miles upon miles distance, not with the antenna down there and being so small. So when I was flying, looking at this camera up front with the pilot's camera, this is what I saw, and every time I saw the image, it was always clear. It never went pixelated or anything like that. So a few more things about this drone is that, as I mentioned, the plastic's really good, but it is also a carbon fiber frame. You can see it here, and here it's a carbon fiber frame. 5-bladed props, lots of wind. It does sound like a vacuum cleaner, but it's not that bad. Now I just want to give you a heads up about something you need to know. So this little SMO360 camera sits inside the drone, and it has to sit flush. And it sits perfectly flush, and it goes in one way. And I'm just going to take it out and show you here. 1 second, bear with me. You just have to take out 4 screws out of a piece of carbon fiber, and the camera pops out. There we go, I'll show it to you this way. So I take the piece of carbon fiber off, this right here. There's my camera, and I can literally just push it right out. There we go. Watch, it's gonna go flying. It might go flying because wing. There we go. So this is your SMO360 camera that you buy. And as you can see, as I mentioned, you can stick it on any FPV drone you want, any camera drone, anything. If you want a 360-degree view, you can stick it on top of a Mavic like that, and it will give you 360 degrees around video, but also, since see my hand would be the Mavic, it's going to give you an image of the Mavic right below it, plus the ground. So your Mavic or anything won't be invisible with a camera like this, or any drone you stick it on, or any RC plane, or whatever you stick it on in life, it won't be invisible. However, that's why this is made to be the same thickness as the distance from the top lens to the bottom lens. Now, the only frustrating thing about this whole unit is that when you put the camera in, you saw me unscrew it, you kind of have to leave it there for the duration of your video shoot. You can't just go shoot a little bit of video, pull the micro SD card out, check it out, oh, that looks good, let's do that again. Well, you could, but then you have to pull the camera out, take the micro SD card out, look at it, then put the micro SD card back in, and then put the camera back in. It doesn't have easy access to the micro SD card when the camera is sitting inside the unit itself. Same is true for the batteries. If you're going to buy this drone, I would suggest getting more than the included 2 batteries. Buy an extra 2 or an extra 4. It's up to you. They're not expensive at all, because the batteries, you only get about 5 minutes of flight time, even though it's 6S, but that 6S has to run this drone, which is super powerful, 6S, and it has to run this camera. And you need this camera to be running with battery power, or else you'll lose all your footage. You never want to run this camera. You never want to run the battery power dry, or you'll lose the footage. And these batteries, now that I've got it all apart, these batteries, when you land, so you do one flight, and when you land, you change the batteries, you leave the camera in, everything else. All you do is you pull your other batteries out, then you stick in a new set, and you'll see that they're designed to sit flush. You see that? It's flush. They go in flush, and you see these wires? I'm just shoving them right through, just to give you a quick example here. So now they're flush, and that's what you want. You want everything flush like that. You can start and stop the video on the camera itself. There's buttons on it, and they are accessible, so you can stop video when you land, then change batteries, start it again. If you want to program the camera, or you want to see what the camera sees while you're flying, as long as you don't fly too far, you can hook it up to your phone. So let me show you that. All right, so what I've done is I've attached 2 batteries, and I have the camera sitting here. It is attached. You can see, if I turn it this way, you'll see a little blue light flashing because it is connected to my phone. It just connects via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, however method you want. The app does everything for you. So you see how my camera is sitting? Neither lens is pointing at me. One's pointing this way, one's pointing that way. So let me show you here. This is what the image is. There is me, and I can look anywhere I want. It's 360, so I'm looking down. I can look up at my ceiling. I can go this way. I can go this way. You can go right around if you want. There's my arms. But yeah, that's a 360 camera. It's pretty sweet. Let me show you the options. There we go. There's all the cool things you can do with this here camera. These are all the option settings for the camera itself. All right, so the next thing I want to do is show you a few things. I want to show you what comes in the box when you buy this, and what comes in the box when you buy the camera, because you need both to have a complete package. So let me show you everything that comes in this box. Check it out. This is the box your PAVO360 comes in, and inside the box you'll find your PAVO360 plus a spare set of props. 2 3-cell 850 milliamp hour 75C batteries are included. Mine is the digital version, so I have a digital CAT-X polar camera up front, and here you can see the Vista unit in the drone. The PAVO360 is rather narrow, and on the outside it does have bumpers just in case you fly it indoor and bang into walls. Construction is a thick carbon fiber as well as some really durable plastic. Total weight of the drone with batteries is 484 grams. Of course, you need to add the camera to that weight, so here we have the SMO360 unboxing. Inside the box, you'll find basically your camera. Looking at the camera closely, you will see two cameras on either side, two lenses. You also have a on-off button as well as a start record button. You can see the power input section as well as the micro SD card slot. Total weight of the camera is 55 grams. All right then, who is the PAVO360 for? Well, obviously it's not for a beginner. If you're a beginner in the FPV hobby, you'll just destroy this camera, so don't even get this. This is more for someone who knows how to fly FPV, and it's probably for somebody who knows how to fly FPV drones, who has several FPV drones and they want something really different because they're making videos that all look the same and they just want to take it to like the next, like 10,000 level to make something look just amazing. That's probably who this drone is for. Creators. All right, I'm going to put links below to the PAVO360. You can get it in analog or you can get it in digital. It is a really good FPV drone, very powerful. It runs on 6S power, comes with two 3S batteries in series, gives you 6S. I would highly recommend if you buy the analog or digital, you also get yourself two more batteries so that you can land, pull two batteries out, put two more batteries on and continue flying and recording. Don't forget to pick up your little SMO360 camera. You can use this on any drone or any device, car, RC plane, whatever you want. Just remember, only this item is made to become invisible. Every other item you stick this on, probably you'll see the item in the video as well. But it'll still look pretty cool because it's 360. And finally, don't forget the lens guards, because I almost didn't buy them, but I did buy them grudgingly, and my God, they saved the lens on my drone. So pick yourself up some lens guards. They're not expensive. They just sticky on and sticky off, so you can remove them at any time or put them back on, and you get several in a box. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on the PAVO360 or the SMO360, then just post them below and I'll get back to you. And stay tuned for more cool products in the future with me doing the cool reviews. All right, until then, bye.